Once upon a time, a 12-year-old boy lived with his parents in a village. One day, after many years, that boy goes to his grandfather's village. He plays with his grandfather all the time there. While playing, one day, he told his grandfather that when I grow up, I will become very successful. Can you tell me some ways to become successful? His grandfather looked at him, smiled, and said, yes. He took him to a plant shop, where small plants were available. His grandfather bought 2 small plants and came back home. After coming home, he planted one of those plants in a big pot, kept that pot inside the house, and planted the other plant outside the house. Then he asked his grandson, what do you think? Which plant will grow well in the future? The child thought a little and told his grandfather that the plant we have planted inside the house will grow well, because it is safe from every problem inside the house. And the plant that we have planted outside is at risk of many things, like strong rays of the sun, storms, heavy rain, and animals. His grandfather smiled and told him, let's see in the future what happens to these 2 plants. Then after 4 years, that boy again goes to his grandfather's house. After seeing his grandfather, he again asks him that, grandfather, last time I asked you how to be successful in life, but you did not tell me anything. But now you will have to tell me. His grandfather smiled and told him, yes, but first let us see those 2 plants had planted a few years ago. Saying this, his grandfather took him to the same place where he had kept the plant inside the house. He saw that the plant had become a big plant. Then he went to the place where he had planted the other plant outside. He saw that the small plant had now become a very big and huge tree. Its branches were very strong and long, and its shadow was falling on the entire ground. Now the grandfather of that boy looked at him and asked him to tell which plant has become bigger and stronger, and which plant has become more successful. The boy said, the plant that we planted outside. But grandfather, how is this possible? This plant must have faced many dangerous situations and many problems must have come on it. But still, how did this plant become such a big tree? His grandfather looked at him and said, you are right. The plant that we planted outside must have faced many problems. And by dealing with those problems, it has become so big and huge, and now it can grow its branches as much as it wants, and problems like storm and heavy rain make its branches even stronger, and because of this, today it has become a very huge tree. And now all these problems are small in front of it. Then his grandfather looked at him and said, son, always remember one thing, until you do not struggle in your life, until you do not go through difficulties, you cannot achieve success in your life. If you always do not struggle in your life, you cannot achieve success in your life. If you keep comfortable choices, then you will not be able to grow as much in your life as you can. And if you are ready for every problem, always ready for struggle, then achieving any goal will not be impossible for you. And then big problems will start looking small to you. After listening to this, that boy took a deep breath. And then he started looking at that huge and big tree. The words of his grandfather were going around in his mind. If we see our life, we will find that friends, problems, obstacles, and difficulties, we consider these things as enemies of our life. But these obstacles, these difficulties, make us strong and more successful in our life. And someone has said that if you are not facing problems in your life, then understand that you are on the wrong track.